Yo, so guys, welcome back to another video. This is another Lost in the Pond reaction. And at this point, I should probably just be like his second channel. I react to so many of his videos. I'm Lost in the Pond 2. That's my new channel name. But no, seriously, I'm back with another reaction to his. And the video is 7 outdoor objects I never saw before moving to America. And in the thumbnail, it was what's it called? Let me just see. Where is it? Here, it's the fire hydrant thing. I initially thought it was like a water fountain, and then people corrected me and told me what it was. But when I think about it, that is like a thing that I feel like is stereotypically like really American. Like I've never seen it in the UK because obviously they're not here. But like you sort of see on like cartoons, whether it's in the US or whatever it is. And I was like, I'm gonna say one other thing: the post boxes. In the US, you have like them out in the garden. Obviously, in the UK, you have posts like you have it in your door. I'm guessing there's going to be things like this. I don't know though. That's just what I'm assuming. But before we get into this, quick shout out to Lost in the Pond man. Subscribe to him if you haven't already. Links in the description to this video, and you can subscribe. You can subscribe to him through there. But yeah, man, let's just get into this one. Quick shout out to my Instagram, my Twitter links in the description for those. Save my Patreon links were there for those interested. But yeah, man, let's get into this one and see what things out and about in the US you would find and you wouldn't find in the UK.
Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond. And speaking of lost, I'm starting to lose my marbles being in quarantine so long.
Wait, when was this filmed? Oh, so it's actually like literally right at the start then. Bro. Year-old Lawrence, you don't know what the ride you were in for the next year, man. I feel your pain.
And being here,
I'm actually interested in seeing when the UK lockdown started. I'm going to go back on myself and just look at the video that I posted as soon as the lockdown was announced and to see how I was feeling. That's going to be a weird thing for me,
now,
actually.
I think it's 8 days. I've been giving some thought to some of the things that I miss about the outside world. And, you know, I'm not just talking about sort of fast food joints that are different in both countries.
Bro, I was scared about the virus at this point, man. I was scared. I remember everyone was just so scared because no one knew what the hell it was, and then obviously, why am I even talking about this?
Sort of just really random mundane objects, you know, like a wheelbarrow, for example. I'm not suggesting we don't have wheelbarrows in England. That's an example of a mundane object, and I want to talk about specifically 7 of those objects that I hadn't seen until I moved to America.
Steel.
Yep, I'm really longing for those water towers, steel water towers specifically, because we do have water towers in Britain, but they're...
Bro, these are so weird. You go into like towns and you just see these. It's just the weirdest thing, man. Does this like store water for the whole of the town or something?
Concrete and look really brutalist and like they were made in the 60s.
Yeah.
In America, all across the country, they have these kind of water towers that are just, they're in the middle of nowhere usually, and they're made of steel, and on the facade of them, they have the name of the town, and it's usually something like Snakesville. And you never see anybody near them or in them. I don't know what they'd be doing in them, perhaps replenishing the water. I don't know how water towers work. I just know that America has a lot of them, and you see them when you're on the highway, motorway, just like our next entry. Yes, highway-based billboards. Who would have thought? I certainly wouldn't have until I moved to the United States.
Are they the ones that are above the road?
That's because we don't really have them in Britain. We do have them in city centres, but you're not going to find them on the side of the road, you know, because it's distracting, especially when it says something, you know, profound like Jesus has risen. You're going to take notice of that and, you know, crash into the car in front of you. And if you don't have insurance, then you are screwed. Ironically, a lot of the billboards are for insurance, so at least you know who to call.
Oh, wow.
I joked a moment ago about the kinds of things you might see on American highway billboards, but the truth is, anyone can really get an ad on those things. They often say advertise.
I feel like I've seen Mr. Beast have done that quite a lot. I feel like I've seen this on like videos that involve him getting like paying for loads of billboards and like highways.
Here if there's nothing on it, and unless you have A, no heart, and B, a death wish, you also wouldn't want to crash into the back of one of these. Yellow school buses.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up here as a child, so of course I never got to...
Are yellow school buses only for students? Because I remember seeing in... Is it American Dad? Is it American Dad? What's the cartoon with school bus? Or is it The Simpsons? Or is it Family Guy or South Park? South Park, I think. One of those shows has... Actually, I think it's South Park. I don't actually know. But it is just for the students, right? It's like school-owned buses that are just for the students, as opposed to the UK. You don't get those buses. You don't get those buses at all. I mean, unless I'm just in a weird place where we don't get it. You just have to use the public transport to get like buses from one place to another. So that is kind of strange to me how we haven't actually got that, because I guess it's cheaper, or do students still have to pay for it?
Ride one, probably never.
I'm assuming it's because a lot of students in the US obviously live further out, and like the country's obviously a lot bigger, so you have to travel a lot further.
Never will,
But
unless I become a bus driver or a
interesting.
parent on some sort of school trip. Do they do that? I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, growing up, I did see school buses, yellow school buses, in films like Superman and Forrest Gump. Those are just examples of films, but you know, I didn't think they existed in real life. This was quite a revelation to me. They're everywhere. You know, it's not just in Indiana where I lived, it's also in Chicago. It's everywhere. I mean, you do see these yellow school buses everywhere, and I recognize that the majority of my audience is American, and this is probably profoundly weird to hear somebody talk about how yellow school buses are very widespread in this country, but I don't think they're used anywhere else in the world, or at least to my knowledge. They're certainly not used in Britain. I used to get to school by jogging. That's not true. I did take the bus, but it was one of those sort of stagecoach buses, double-decker, so I got to sit on top, not at the...
Bruh, double-decker buses, getting at the top front seat is the best, man. You've got the whole window, you get the best view,
with the cool...
Double-deckers aren't in the US, I don't think. Or are they? I don't think they are. It's so weird how double-deckers are a thing here but nowhere else. Because they do actually kind of make sense, but I don't know if I'm just sort of waffling here.
You know, at the front actually,
are.
and but they weren't yellow, and as you can see, I like yellow. I'm wearing this in solidarity with the school children. I'm not. It's the first thing I found in my wardrobe. I'd be lying if I said that yellow school buses were the only outdoor object that I learned through the films. That also applies to our next entry. White picket fences, the like of which you see in the film American Beauty and other such suburban-based films. It reminds me...
Oh, I do see this, actually. I do kind of see what it means. I mean, I can't really say if this is the thing or not. I've probably walked past fences that are like this, but I guess this is a thing that's
of American
a lot
suburbia now that I've lived here long enough. But for the longest time,
common
you know,
in
it
the
was
US.
just part of the sort of movie set for me to make something look very pristine and idyllic and all of that. You'll occasionally see white picket fences here in different parts of Chicago. They're kind of rare, I suppose. But you do tend to see them at houses of families who've really taken care of their garden. Okay, and in Britain, we don't have these kind of fences. A lot of our gardens are sort of framed off by brick walls.
Yep. Just small brick wall gardens at the front, and then you've usually got a bit of a bigger back garden, but even then it's not that big in comparison to the majority of US houses. Again, the majority, because obviously some people won't have those big gardens, or they'll live in like flats and stuff, but it's true. I could literally, if I wanted to debate myself out, I could literally put my camera out my window right now, and you'd see literally every house is just the same brick wall garden, and it's just quite basic, to be honest.
Sometimes just shrubs and bushes and things. That's not a euphemism. You'll also see in the US mesh fences around gardens as well. They're kind of low down, you know, they're just high enough that dogs can jump over them, but never do because they're too stupid. And they seem like they're there to just sort of stop people.
Actually, they're not really in parks. There used to be like fences that were used in like parks and stuff, but not even anymore.
From breaking in.
Like courts, basketball courts or football courts.
Especially those fences that have beware of the dog on the side. Now, please, America or anyone watching this, don't take this as a green light to think you can go and burgle people's houses in Britain. They still have security measures and fences too. I'm underplaying it, but we don't have white picket fences. We also don't have these.
Front yard. That's what I was trying to say. Mailbox.
Our
That's
houses
the
do
word.
have mailboxes in the United Kingdom, except our mail doesn't go into a mailbox, it goes into a letterbox, and our mail's called the post. I hope that was clear. And those letterboxes are usually on the front door, right? So letterman or postman, Letterman is a chat show host. Postman, post women, post people, right? They have to go right up to the door and become intimate with your house. Not so in the United States, or at least not always. You will have those kind of houses where just in front of their garden or yard, they'll have a mailbox that's sticking on kind of a pole, and there's just this tube, I suppose, a metal tube.
Do you need a key to open it? or can people just randomly open them in the public if they wanted to? Could they just walk past and just steal your mail, or is it like a lock or something that's
into
needed?
which you put things, and then people have to go out and get it. I suppose it does promote exercise, which is needed in these quarantine days. We just don't want to come into contact with the post people or mail people. It doesn't matter what you call them; they're the same entity. Well, the different people. You get the point, basically. Don't touch the post people. And if you do, wash your hands for 20 seconds with soap, making sure not to get your water from one of these.
Cylindrical fire hydrants. So this is what I didn't know before, but then I got taught through the
I'll tell
comments.
you a story. When I was 19 years old, I was a big gamer. I was well into video games, and one of the video games that I played was a little game called Die Hard with a Vengeance. And you're just swanning around New York City, I think, probably, and you can crash your car into just stuff, right? And one of those stuff was a fire hydrant, a very American-looking fire hydrant that looks like this. They're more or less cylindrical, speaking in a pitch that only dogs recognise, and I only describe them as that to differentiate them from fire hydrants in Britain. Fire hydrants in Britain are nowhere near as sexy, and believe
We
me,
have fire
I didn't
hydrants
think I'd
here.
wake up today and say that either. They're just these brutalist-looking
These are our fire hydrants. See, I've seen these before, but I don't even think I see these that much. Where do you attach the...
square things with an H on them, and no, they're not for landing miniature helicopter, nor do they signify a hospital. I actually don't know what they do. If a fire breaks out in the middle of the road, when does that ever happen? I wouldn't know what to do. I don't know how to operate these things, right? Who does? The experts. Whereas American fire hydrants are absolutely gorgeous. They kind of look like elongated fireman helmets. Is that on purpose? Again, for the benefit of the dogs. It can't have been, and I'm absolutely certain I wouldn't have made the correlation had I not been stuck in here for 8 days. I'm going mad, you know? How does the outside world look right now? Do people still have wind chimes? Do they still, do they still raise these?
The American flag.
The American
objects. I guess that's because flag. Yeah, I guess that doesn't
flag,
make sense.
and I suppose there's a very good reason as to why I didn't encounter this until I moved to America. It's
because of us here in the UK.
America's flag, so that makes total sense, right?
Why did I find it so funny?
I think in Britain, pound for pound, we probably, or at least when I lived there, didn't fly the flag, the British flag, as much as America tends to fly its flag.
It's quite quiet.
It's very culturally ingrained to do that, isn't it? My in-laws do it. Everybody does it. Even educated fleas do it. That would be impossible. They don't have the strength to lift up fabric. They're bloody smart, hence being educated. I don't know how I got sidetracked there. But yes, the US flag is absolutely everywhere. Again, this is not just something you'll see in films. And I think there's an understanding that Americans are deeply patriotic. How do you pronounce it? Let me know in the comments below. And it's not just outside of people's houses that you'll see these flags. You'll see them on the back of trucks. You'll see them hanging on sort of company buildings. Don't know why I pronounced it like that.
I did a video yesterday and I got a comment saying, like, it's not just the US flag, it's like sports flags or whatever you want to call it, like sports teams, political parties, all different things, state flags. It's not just the US flag, it's just flags in general. People like to sort of what's the word, they're proud to sort of support who they support or whatever it is, kind of thing. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. So I do see that, but obviously in this case it is just the American flag.
Everywhere. I mean, it really is everywhere. Sometimes you'll see absolutely huge American flags, and you can usually see them for about 5 miles away. That way, at least you know what country you're in. And so that's it. 7 outdoor objects I only encountered after moving to America. I just wanted to list those to remind us of what we're missing. I mean, admittedly, we're missing quite a bit more than those things. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter.
I don't know if there's a video out there, but I'd like to sort of see the opposite. 7 outdoor objects I never saw before I came to the UK, maybe from a US perspective, someone who's moved to the UK, because I wonder if there's things in the UK. I mean, I guess it is things, the opposite. If you look at this the other way, actually, America's looking at this. These are 7 things that look at the US. So actually what I'm saying doesn't make sense. But other things, I don't know, I just like these videos. I just want to see more, to be honest.
At Lost in the Pond US if you want more weird information like this. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that my videos don't get lost in the pond.
Exactly.
And as ever, a big shout out to all of my patrons who make...
And there we go, like he said, subscribe to his channel, man. He deserves it. His videos are genuinely fun to watch. And I just enjoy it. His humour is just so dry. Reminds me of Ricky Gervais. It's just fun to see, man. Edit, Canada and Mexico have yellow school buses. Oh, actually, I sort of would have guessed Canada would, because I feel like Canada Canada, Canadian and American cultures sort of clash in certain ways, so that does kind of make sense. But Mexico as well, I guess it's just sort of a North American thing then. Do Brits have red barns? That seems like a very American thing. What's a red barn? I mean, the fact that they even know what a red barn is probably answers the question, but... Oh! Actually, it's literally the name, as he said it. I mean, to come to think of it, I can't really use the example because I don't really like work on farms or go to farms or anything, but I probably wouldn't say we do. Maybe like very rarely. But actually, come to think of it, I don't think we actually do. We'll see the answers. Going crazy being in quarantine for 8 days, lol, what a difference a year makes. God damn how time flies. And how slow time goes at the same time. The mailbox is important. Dylan, I can't say the fucking word. What the fuck? You know what? Google Translate, help me here. Help me here. Google Translate, help me here. Oh. Wait, what? I'm so confused. I don't actually want to like translate. No.
Delineates.
Delineates.
Delineates. Delineates.
Delineates. Don't know what the fuck that means. The maximum distance from the front door. I guess it's like, I don't even know. That one can walk in the bathroom. Okay, dressing gown. Without being presumed to be a mental patient. Watching this in December and laughing over being in quarantine for 8 days. Boy, I was in quarantine for pretty much a year, man. This year has sucked. And it's also been good though. It's like worked in both ways. It's been so bad, but it's also helped me sort of like focus on the YouTube, and now it's going so well. It's just like trying to find the good from the bad. But I guess actually for me, it has actually worked out quite well. Here in the States, your British gardens are called a yard. A garden is a section of the yard that you designate to grow flowers, vegetables, and fruit. Oh shit. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this one. Again, more Lost in the Pond on the way. I mean, at this point, like I said, I'm just reacting to all of his videos. But again, the fact that he seems to enjoy people reacting to his videos is incredible, and I appreciate it. But I mean, yeah, again, I've said this like 5 times already. Check him out in the description. Also subscribe to me whilst you're at it. But yeah, man, until next time, like, subscribe. Peace.